Sherman D. Manning joining you live from Los Angeles, California. Sherman D. Manning joining you live from Los Angeles, California. I am the author of The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. If you ever hear anybody tell you that white lives matter, you tell them. I said, if you ever hear anybody tell you that white lives matter, make sure you tell them that they're buffoons and they don't get the concept. I remember I was talking to an ignorant son of a gun recently, and he was telling me that he had stumbled upon an ebony magazine. And this imbecile indicated to me that he could not find a single white face in the magazine, not even in ads, etc., so forth and so on. And I began to try to explain to him that if he wanted to see a white face in a magazine, that 99% of the magazines on countertops in stores across this country would indeed satisfy his appetite for whiteness. I attempted to explain to this white brother that, everywhere you go, turn on your television, you can watch television all day long and not see a single black face. It used to be you could watch all week long and not see a black face. And, the Obamacracy changed that. Because you see the president all the time, and of course he's African American. And you see that classy black family on television, and this makes the Rush Limbaughs and the Glenn Becks, and unfortunately even Franklin Graham of life. This makes them upset. Jerry Falwell Jr., these Klansmen who thump Bibles and pretend to be God-fearing but hating their African American brothers. And the only time they really love black folks is if, i.e., in the case of Franklin Graham, if he has an organization that is sending money over to distant shores and giving money to help those who are starving. This makes him feel good about himself and plays into his own narcissism. And so this paternalistic kind of altruism is something that so-called Christians have been doing for decades. But if they have a problem accepting a black person on equal terms. So, I will like you as long as you know that you're beneath me. I will like you as long as we know that you need me. I will like you as long as you're coming to me for a meal. And if I give you a fish, I'll feed you for a day. But if I happen to take the time to teach you how I fish, I'll feed you for a lifetime. So this paternalism cannot be confused with Christianity, nor can it be confused with equality. And so when you hear folks saying white lives matter, it means that they don't have the concept. Here it is, Black History Month, and I still have not heard any Republican candidate for president say Black Lives Matter. They want Mr. Obama to say certain things as it relates to the Islamic faith. They want him to utter certain words that make them feel like he suddenly gets the concept, and he won't even say the term Islamic terrorism and things of that nature. Well, I want them to say Black Lives Matter. I've never heard Rubio. I've never heard that pedophile Donald. I've never heard Cruz say Black Lives Matter. I've never heard them say hands up, don't shoot. I've never heard them say I can't breathe. I've never heard them breathe. I've never heard them listen to the speech that Dr. King gave. They can tell you about I have a dream that one day black men and white men, Jew. They know that part. But they don't know the part of that same speech about the promissory note coming back stamped insufficient funds. Ask them about that promissory note. Ask them to explain to you the body of the speech that Dr. King gave, the part that does not deal with the dream. They like the rhythm and rhyme. They like the melodious words of Dr. King. And even as it relates to Dr. King, they only liked it after he was dead. See, people do that all the time. As soon as we kill you, then we'll martyr you. As soon as we kill you, we will make a monument unto you. But when Martin Luther King Jr. was alive, he had a 79% disapproval rate amongst white people. Can I say that again? When Dr. King was living on this planet, Dr. King had a 79% disapproval rate amongst white people in this country. It was only 20 or 30 years after he was dead that the media decided to anoint him as a great civil rights leader because he was dead. And once you are dead, and once we have assassinated you, we have killed you, we have taken your life, we've put a bullet in your neck. Now we will applaud you and we will celebrate you and call you a great leader. And we will cherry pick certain speeches that you gave and find little snippets that play into the narrative that we want to present of you. But I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their... See, that plays into the narrative. But they're not going to play the part of the speech that talks about that promissory note coming back stamped insufficient funds. They're not going to play that part of the speech because it calls for action. Because it calls for a quote-unquote reshuffling of America's economic deck. And that is, quite frankly, what got Dr. King killed. Racist white people have never cared about us talking about we don't want to be this and we don't want to be that. They could stomach the desire to ride on the front of the bus. But if you started talking about money, if you started talking about you wanted not just to ride the back of the front of the bus, but you wanted to buy a Bentley. You wanted to be put in a position where you could buy your own this and buy your own that. When you started talking about the reshuffling of America's economic deck, those are deadly words. Those are words that will get you killed. And Dr. King gave his life because he saw the vision of African Americans in this country no longer needing the paternalism and the charity of white people. And it irks me. It bothers me deeply when I see them pretending to love him so much because he's dead. And they killed him. And cherry picking speeches that coincide with what they want you to think and what they want you to believe, and then act like it's all right. But they won't talk about reshuffling the economic, because if you start saying that, then you're talking, oh, you want to redistribute wealth. And if you say that, then that's too close to the next step. You're going to want reparations. And if you say that, then the next step you're going to want, you understand? So I always say, miss me with that bull crap, telling me how saved you are and how much of a Christian you are. And you're going to pray for me. Save your prayers. Don't pray for me. I don't need your prayers. Not Franklin Graham's, not Jerry Falwell Jr.'s, because the God I serve doesn't know him, to be quite frank. Don't pray for me. You know, it's almost like you walk up to a woman and you're starving, you're hungry. Say, oh, I'm going to pray for you. Don't pray for the man. Give him something to eat. Don't pray for the homeless man. Give him a place to stay. I'm sick of us playing these games with God. Faith, my brothers and sisters, without works is dead. I've been out of jail now 12 or 13 days, and nobody has offered me anything out there. None of them. All of these churches, I think LA probably has a church on every corner, and yet none of them have said, hey, young man, you can't come to church because you don't have a suit. You lost everything. You've been in prison, wrongly convicted, been gone over a decade. Let us buy. I talked to a pastor the other day. I'm not going to call his name. God bless him. He knew my situation clearly, totally. And I told him, listen, I've heard all the speeches about come as you are, and Jesus said, come as you are, and you don't have to have a suit, and you don't have to have a tie. I get that. I get that theoretically. I even get it intellectually. But emotionally, I have a problem. This is just me now because I'm ordained in the clergy. I don't want to go to church without a suit on. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If the tables were turned, I promise you this. If some guy got out of jail and called me, not begging me, not asking me for anything, but explaining to me clearly that, hey, I don't have a suit yet, and I would love to be in church Sunday, but I'm the pastor of so-and-so Baptist Church, and been the proud pastor for some 21 years, and I've been this and I've been that, then what I would do is I would say, where are you? Let me come pick you up. And I would take you and buy you a suit, a tie, a shirt, and a pair of shoes. Not one pastor in Los Angeles has offered Reverend Sherman D. Manning that favor. It's sickening. But we are all Christians. And we've been serving the Lord for a long time. And we're driving Jaguars, and we're driving Bentleys now. And we're driving Mercedes-Benz, and we've got Lexuses galore. But it's like sounding brass and tingling cymbals. Its shape, its form, its fashion. And it's pretty sad. I'm not going to ask them for anything. And the good thing is this, it's good that they're not helping me now, because when I rise up, and I'm going to rise, I told them I'll rise again. Can't no prison cell hold my body down. I'll rise again. Can't no prison cell hold my body down. Okay, I'm not preaching now. I'm sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. But the good thing is this. Don't cry about people not helping you when you're down and when you're just coming out and you're just trying to get your feet back, on the ground. Don't cry about it. I'm not going to cry about it, because if you help me while I'm where I am right now, when I make it, you could say you had something to do with it. You understand? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But when I make it, I can say, then damn preaching. I know that's not English. Not one pastor offered me one shirt, not a pair of socks, not a pair of underwear, not even a t-shirt. And so when I make it, they won't be able to lay claim on my success. I'll have to say that if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side, I would have been swallowed up. I'll have to say when the enemy came in like the flood, God lifted up a standard against him. I'll have to say that God brought me from where I was to where I am. And so I'm going to make it. Listen to me, baby. I promise you this. I tell all of my enemies to picture me rolling. Just picture me rolling. I might be patting and turning right now, but just picture me rolling. I might be down and out right now, but I'm coming back again, because a setback is nothing but a setup for a comeback. I believe that nothing just happens. I believe that everything I have been through has prepared me for where I'm going to. I'm not going to let the residue of where I came from ruin the moment of where I am right now. I will not allow my history to hinder me from my destiny. I shall come forth. I shall move forward. I'm going to give everything I have to the vision that God has given me, and I will use every waking moment to make it become reality. If y'all don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. If you don't want to follow me on Facebook, don't follow me on Facebook. If you don't want to listen, don't listen. If you don't want to tune in, don't. You don't want to buy my book, don't buy. Somebody out there wants what I have. God has put it in somebody's heart to need what it is that I have to offer. And that's what I like about life. No matter what you go through in life, there's going to always be somebody who needs what you have. Your specialty is somebody else's emergency. Oh God, if I had time to break this thing down for you, I would. But I told you I'm so excited I can't hardly see straight. I've been groaning in the spirit all day long. I get so excited I can't even hardly sleep at night. I'm just glad to be alive and in the land of the living one more time. My job, my duty, my responsibility, my calling is to wake up brothers all over this nation and tell black men, get your butt back in school, because education is inoculation against incarceration. If you want to stay out of jail, you got to stay in school. If you want to stay out of jail, you got to stay out of the gang. If you want to be a gangbanger, the only kind of gangbanger I want to hook up with is a gangbanger for God, and a gangbanger for justice, and a gangbanger for truth. Join me at Gang